Hello everyone, and thank you for joining us for what's new in QQCatalyst version 3.8. The phone lines have been muted to eliminate background noise, so in the case that you have a question or a comment, you can type that into the question window of the GoToWebinar panel. We have allotted a lot of time for our Q&A session at the end of today's webinar, so I'll be happy to answer any questions you have on our latest release or any questions you have on QQCatalyst in general. My name is Dickinson Marin, Product Manager here at QQ Solutions and Licensed Insurance Agent, and I'm very excited to talk to you about the new features and enhancements we've included in our latest release. We are very proud about our email integration beta feature released on QQCatalyst version 3.8, which allows you to both configure your own email account in QQCatalyst, send emails from that account, as well as assign emails from any folder within that email account to contacts within QQCatalyst. Now, this is a beta feature currently available to all of our QMAX and Plan 4 customers. It's going to be widely available on March 22nd on a trial basis. But I'm going to show you how you can use this email integration feature to assign emails in QQCatalyst. You can now assign producers via carrier downloads. We built a new setting that allows you to auto-assign the agent or CSR assigned to a customer as the producer on a downloaded policy. I'll show you how to set that up. We've also built in farm policy details, so you can now enter coverage and limit information for all of your farm policies and your agriculture properties, or your agriculture policies. That includes agriculture property, agriculture liability, agriculture scheduled and unscheduled personal property, as well as crop. You can now also take action-based task generation in Catalyst. So in the case that you're taking a task-worthy action, you can easily now create a task that's pre-filled with the information from the action that you are taking. I'll show you how easily you can now create tasks. And just a reminder, QQ Solutions will be at NetView 2016. So for those of you who registered for the conference, we look forward to seeing you there. We will be there tomorrow, and we look forward to meeting some of you inside of our informational sessions, as well as the labs that they're going to have at the NetView conference. So we are very excited that we have a team going with you, and we look forward to meeting you as well as all of our other Vertafore customers. And of course, we have our knowledge base full with a bunch of questions and answers, how-to guides on how to complete any task within QQCatalyst. Don't forget that we have free online training classes. You can register for training classes on a day and time. That's convenient for you. But we've also recorded all of our training classes, so in the case that you can't attend the live training classes, you can watch them on demand. And of course, all of our new features and enhancements that we're building into Catalyst is coming from your feedback. We love to hear from you, so continue sending us your feedback. By the way, we have made some changes to the pop-up that you send your feedback in. I'll show you what that looks like now, but continue to send us your feedback because that's how we're going to make QQCatalyst a wonderful agency management system for you and your staff. All right, let's go ahead and get QQCatalyst open. Let's first talk about our new email integration beta. Again, this is currently available as a beta feature to our QMAX and our Plan 4 customers. It will be available to everyone else on a trial basis starting on March 22nd. The first thing we've changed is how emails are actually set up in QQCatalyst. Emails used to be set up in the location preferences, and then once approved, they were assigned to employee contacts. Well, now you're setting them up directly on the employee contacts. For those of you who did have email addresses that were approved in location preferences, don't worry. We've already migrated those email addresses for you to the employees that had permission to use them. So in the user preferences, in the user preferences tab of the employee contact, you're now going to see an email setup section. Okay? Now, all the email addresses that we migrated from location preferences, you're going to see the provider being QQCatalyst on behalf of. And that just means that you're using QQCatalyst to send emails. But with this new email integration, you can actually configure your own email account within Catalyst. So when you send an email, it's coming from that email account and will show up in your sent message folder. So for those of you currently with the QQCatalyst on behalf of, you can continue to leave the QQCatalyst on behalf of there. I did get a report from some of our customers in production that right now you are unable to change the provider from QQCatalyst on behalf of to your Gmail or your Outlook account. For those of you that are currently on the beta feature, if you're currently on QMAX and Plan 4, you can remove the QQCatalyst on behalf of and just click to add a new account. Once we get the issue resolved, you'll be able to change the QQCatalyst on behalf of. For those of you who don't have it as of yet, you'll be able to change it to your Gmail or your Office 365 or your Outlook.com. If you haven't set up your email account as of yet, all you're going to do is click on Add Account. We have some predefined providers already in there for you, like Office 365, Outlook.com, Gmail, Hotmail, Yahoo, and in the case that you don't see your provider on this list, you can always select Custom. Now, for the information that you see here, you may need the help of your IT person or your system administrator to help you fill in the information. So you definitely want to get in contact with them to make sure you're putting in the correct information. For the providers that are already pre-filled, we already know the information for you, so you don't have to put in ports or outgoing servers. All you have to do is put in your email address and your password for your email account. You also now have the ability to set an email account as your default email. So when you go to send an email, that's the email address that's going to populate in the From field. Now, once you try to save the email account, we're going to try to connect to that email account. If it's unsuccessful, we're going to show you a warning message with whatever information the provider sends back. So in the case that your password was incorrect or the email address is incorrect, you'll get that information. But be very careful in the case that you enter your information twice and don't connect successfully. However your provider handles unsuccessful attempts to log into your email account, the same thing's going to happen in Catalyst. So if they lock you out after 3 attempts on their website, the same thing's going to happen if you try to connect in Catalyst with the wrong credentials. The biggest difference you're going to see in the setup is going to be with Gmail. Gmail does not allow for you to put in your email account and password within QQCatalyst. What you're going to have to do is actually authenticate with Gmail that you can use this account. So I'm going to remove the Gmail account just to show you. For those of you that actually have Gmail as a provider, when you click on Add Account and you select Gmail, the fields for username and password go away. You have to click to authenticate, and it's going to open up a browser. Now, if you're already logged into Gmail, all you're going to have to do is click Allow. Now, you want to definitely make sure that the email address that you entered in Catalyst is the same as the Gmail account that's listed up here. Otherwise, when you click Allow and you go back to Catalyst, Catalyst will not be able to validate that email account. If you're not logged in, Gmail will ask you to log in. But once you click Allow, you'll be redirected back to QQCatalyst, and then you can change your display as name, select whether you want the Gmail account to be your default account, and then just click Save. Now, the Gmail account will not allow you to change your email address and your password. Once that information is changed through Gmail, Gmail will send that updated information through Catalyst and make sure that we're still able to authorize. And that's how you'll be able to set up your own email accounts in QQCatalyst. Again, this happens on the Employee Contact User Preferences tab in the Email Setup section. So now that you have access to sending emails using your actual email account, we also gave you the ability to view emails from that email account. If you hover over your name, you'll now see the mailroom under My Task. The mailroom allows you to view emails from that email account. Any folder that you have in that email account, you can view emails and assign those emails to contacts within QQCatalyst. So all the email accounts that have been validated, you'll see those in this drop-down. And the one that's going to pre-populate is the one that you set as the default. You can look through any folder within that email account. So whether it's your sent message folder or your inbox or any folder or label that you created, you can view those emails. By default, we're showing you all the emails that have been unassigned. So those emails have not been filed in QQCatalyst by you using this email account. And by default, we'll show you emails within the last 30 days, but you can also go back as far as you'd like. If you're looking for a specific email, you can actually type key terms in the search field and click Go, and we'll return emails based on whatever you put inside this field, whether it's the email address or a key term that you want to search for within the subject or the body. All you have to do is type that in here and click Go. You'll see the date and time that the email was sent or received, who was in the from and the to and the CC fields, the subject, as well as any contact matches that we found in QQCatalyst. Now, if we found multiple contacts in Catalyst with the same email address matching one of the emails in this email that we found, you're going to see a yellow circle on the right-hand side with suggested assignments, and we'll show you all of the matching contacts, and you can select the correct one. Once a contact has been filled in, the circle is going to turn green, letting you know it's ready to be assigned. If we didn't find a single match for that email address, you're going to see a white circle and giving you the option to enter a contact name. So in this case, I'm going to type in John, and the email belongs to Chelsea Johnson. If we already found the match for the email, when you first come into the mailroom, you'll see the name of the contact already pre-matched, and this is only when there's a single matching account. You'll see the name already pre-filled with the green circle to the right of it. When you're ready to assign the emails, all you have to do is click Assign. We're going to download the email and file it into the customer's email tab, which is a new tab that we've built, and I'll show that to you shortly. So now, one of the questions that I've already gotten from some of the customers is, what happens if the customer sent an email to two different employees, they were both CC'd on the same email? If employee 1 files that email in the customer's file, when employee 2 goes into the mailroom, they will not see that as a filed email because it went to a separate email account. So both people, if they file it, those are two separate emails, two separate email accounts, and both of them will have the ability to file that. Now, if you're done with the email assignment and you don't want to make any changes, all you have to do is click Finish. However, if you would like to add a description to the emails, if you'd like to import attachments to the customer's files tab, or if you'd like to add descriptions or notes or even tags, you're going to click on Add Details. So here's an email that's been assigned to Tess Gutierrez, and in the case that I wanted to add any tags, let's just say this was the inspection that I received. It also had inspection photos, and it had to do with the renewal. I can add tags to this email and say this is regarding the renewal, the inspection, and the inspection photo. And I'm going to say inspection photos received from the customer. If you would like those photos to also be attached to the Files tab for that customer, I'm just going to check these off so they can be imported to the Files tab. And in the case that this email also belonged to a specific policy, I can click Edit and relate it to one of the policies. Now, this is email 1 of 12 that I assigned, so I can go through and do this for every single email that I just assigned. And when I'm done, just click Finish. And that's how you're going to be using the mailroom to assign emails. We've also made it easy for you to be able to view emails within the mailroom as well. So here's an email that I received. I'm going to click on the subject, Proof of Prior Insurance, and I can view the contents of the email. Any attachments that were included in the email will show up as a clickable link, and when you click on it, however the browser handles opening attachments, whether it's to open it up in a new tab or whether it is to download it for you to view it, that's how the browser is going to handle it. But you have the ability to view the attachments by simply clicking on it. In the case that you wanted to see which emails have already been assigned, you can switch the status from unassigned to assigned, and you'll view all the emails that have already been assigned by you from this email account. Now, in the case that one email pertains to multiple contacts, you can assign it to multiple contacts by coming into the Assign filter. So in this case, I have Tess Gutierrez, but if I wanted to assign it to another contact, just click on the plus button here. And I'll also say this belongs to Family Fresh Supermarket. And then click Assign. And now that email is going to be assigned to both contacts. If you have any questions on how to use the mailroom, please go ahead and type your questions into the GoToWebinar question panel. I'll be happy to answer those questions for you. So now, when you go to your contact, you will now see, and this is for all contacts in QQCatalyst, you're now going to see an Emails tab. Now, very important to note, the emails that you find in this tab are going to be emails from the date that we did the release going forward. It's not going to include the emails that were already in the Files tab. We are in discussions on possibly migrating those emails from the Files tab to the Emails tab, but we will be sending out a communication to you in the case that we decide to do that. Okay? You have the Emails tab here for any emails sent from the release date going forward. Now, that includes emails sent individually by selecting the Quick Send or the Print Email function, or the emails that are sent using the Bulk Email feature, whether scheduled or if you do it as a Run Now feature. So you're going to see these in chronological order, date and time, the from and the to field, and the CC. Now, in the case that you want to launch a new email to any one of the email addresses you see here, just click on it and you'll be able to launch a new email to that email address. If you click on a row that has multiple email accounts, so let's just multiple email addresses, like in this case here, if you click on it, we're going to send it to both of those people. To view the email, you're going to click on the subject. And again, to view the individual attachments or to download them, all you're going to do is click on the individual links and they'll open the email. From this view only window, you can reply all, or you can forward the email to another person. We do simulate everything like an email account provider. So in the case that you click on reply all, everything about the subject is going to stay with the RE, with everybody put back in the to field. And if you scroll down to the bottom, we also include whatever the original email was. Now, in the case that you wanted to import the attachments from that email into the Customers Files tab, when you're on the Emails tab, you can click on this paperclip, and in the case that they're images, you'll be able to see a quick preview of the images. And then I can say, well, take all these attachments and import them to my Contacts Files tab, just in case you want easy access from the file and you don't have to go searching through your emails for the attachments. The files will be imported into the Files tab, and then you can click Next to add any tags or descriptions that you want here. So in this case, I'm going to say again, inspection photos, 2016. Inspection photos, and I'm going to apply that description and the tags to all the photos that are a part of this batch, and then click Finish. Now, if you click anywhere else inside this row, you're going to see a context menu that allows you to view the email, reply all, forward, import attachments to the file. You can edit the description of the email. So in this case, I'm going to select Edit, and I'm going to add a description to the email. And now when I'm looking at my emails, I can see the description right underneath the subject. Or in the case that you accidentally assign this email to the wrong contact, you can always unassign the email. And that's the New Emails tab on every contact in QQCatalyst. We have added farm policy details to QQCatalyst as well. Now this is going to be the same details shared across farm, agriculture, agriculture liability, agriculture property, agriculture scheduled and unscheduled personal property, as well as crop. Now, for those of you that had small farm ranch as a line of business, we did find that that's the name that's given to the farm ranch policy from Accord, but every single time our customers were looking for farm, they couldn't find it because it had the heading small farm ranch. So we've updated the title to be just farm ranch to make it easier for you to find. You're now going to see a details tab on your farm policies, allowing you to enter both location information, coverage information, and limits. Now it's very important for you to put in the policy info tab a location schedule for us to know the location of the farm, and then you'll be able to add details in the details tab. Now I've already pre-filled some of this information. If you have a home or structure that's insured on the farm, you're going to be putting that in the premises information section. As you can see here, I've added a description that says single family dwelling. This is also the same place that you're going to be putting in your barn or your sheds. All of that's going to be in the premises information section. You can add as many premises as you need to on this location. So in this case, I have a single family dwelling with all my dwelling coverage information, as well as the acreage information for the farm, the liability coverage on the farm, any personal property insured on the farm. So we're talking about things that are in transit, miscellaneous machinery, as well as tools and equipment. This includes scheduled and unscheduled farm personal property. You'll be able to add this, by the way, for in the case that you have multiple farm locations insured on the same property or on the same policy, you'll be able to add additional coverage information to each one of those premises. You also have unscheduled property, so in the case that they're insuring livestock as a group, or if you have any kind of produce, any kind of machinery, you'll be able to insure that under the unscheduled property. And then we have scheduled property, the items that actually have to be itemized in order to be insured. I have a bunch of machinery here on my farm that I have listed. And then if you have any of the farms that insure show animals like dogs or horses, you'll be able to enter the information for the animals, including coverages and limits and deductibles. This information will be pre-populated if you enter your details on your policy summaries and your policy proposals as well. Another thing that we've done in Catalyst is made it easy for you to generate tasks when task-worthy actions are taken within the system. So in the case that I wanted to add a note, I'm going to go up to the customer contact, and I'm going to add a note. And the note's going to be, John wants a call to discuss his renewal. So that's the note I'm adding so everyone knows that I had a call from John. But if I wanted to create a task, you're going to just check off this Create Task checkbox. And when you add the note, we're going to pre-fill the task with the information from the note. Now, this doesn't mean that a task was created. This just means that a task has been pre-filled, and if you want the task created, you'll just click OK. If you don't want the task created, just click Cancel. Okay? Now, when we did the release, we did have the checkbox checked automatically, but a lot of the users thought that because it was checked automatically, tasks were being generated for them, and they didn't want a bunch of tasks created. And instead of, to make sure we didn't have any confusion, we unchecked the box by default. So if you check the box, it'll pre-fill. If it's, you can uncheck it in the case that you don't want a task created. But just because the checkbox was checked, it doesn't mean that the task was actually created. It just means that a task is pre-filled, and if you click OK, the task will be saved. So we have it when you're clicking to add a note. The same thing occurs when you go to send an email. So I'm going to select the quick send here, and if I want to create a task based on the email that I'm sending, renewal application, I'm going to say, hi John, just a reminder to send in the signed application. And then I want to create a task to follow up on whether or not he sent me the application. Just going to check off the Create Task checkbox. Click Send. And the task is going to be pre-filled with the information from my email. And I'm just going to put in a little detail here for myself. Make sure you receive the signed application. The same thing is available to you whenever you cancel a policy, set an intent to cancel, or reinstate a policy. So I want to show you one of them here. If I'm going to go to this policy, policy action, I'm going to set an intent to cancel. Let's just say the policy set to cancel on the 10th. Let's just say this is going to be because of non-payment. Did John make his payment? I'm going to create a task. So the intent to cancel is set on the policy, and there's a task already pre-filled for me. All you have to do is select your due date if you want to set a reminder, and then click OK. If you have any questions on how to auto pre-fill tasks when you're taking task-worthy actions, go ahead and type your questions in the question window of the GoToWebinar panel. I'll be happy to answer those questions for you. Another request that we received a lot from our users was the ability for downloads to assign producers. We now have added that ability. An agency administrator has to do this, or someone with access to the location preferences. If you hover over your name, hover over preferences, and go over to location preferences, in the downloads tab, we've now added the ability for you to create producers when a policy is created via downloads. It's going to be in the downloads import mode section. By default, at release, it's disabled, but you can enable it. I'm going to click Edit here, and this is how it's going to work. When Downloads creates a policy, if a customer already exists and has an agent and CSR assigned, Downloads can add the agent assigned to the customer as a producer, it could add the CSR assigned to the customer as producer, or it can add both of them as producer if both of these checkboxes are checked. Now this is going to work when the new policy is created. It doesn't matter if the policy business type is new business, renewal, or rewrite. So long as Downloads creates the policy, we can assign a producer for you. Now, if it's a pending policy and the pending policy doesn't have producers, we can do the same thing. Downloads will take that pending policy, create the pending policy, issue it, and then assign a producer to it. But if there's already a producer on the pending policy, we're going to keep whatever you had. This feature is not going to update producers on existing policies. Okay, so you don't have to worry about downloads overriding the producer you already have on an existing policy. This is only when it's going to create a policy or update a pending policy. And lastly, a change that we've made is we've changed the way the feedback pop-up works. We really appreciate all of the feedback that you've been sharing with us. It's helped us to make QQCatalyst an amazing agency management system. There's so much more that we want to do for you, but we appreciate your feedback and we encourage you to continue to share it with us. Here in the feedback pop-up, you're now going to see the types that you always saw. You saw the enhancements, questions, or bugs, but now when you submit an enhancement, you're going to see it broken down by category. It makes it easier for us to do reporting on which features we need to be working on next in the system. It also shows us the pain points that you're feeling on certain areas that we need to improve. So you want to select the correct category, and then when you select the category, you get a subcategory, and you can be more specific on what it is that you want to submit your enhancement request on, or whatever you want to share your feedback on. Now, don't forget, training is available to you all the time within QQCatalyst, okay? If you hover over your name and you select Support Training, we have a training center that allows you to register for live training classes. Let me go there just to show it to you. For those of you who didn't know that we had a training center built, you can come to this training center. You can register for our free public training classes. They're broken down into introductory, intermediate, and advanced level courses. You can look for the training class that you want. We'll show you the days and times the training classes are available, and you'll register for the training on the day and time that's convenient for you. If you're unable to attend our live training classes, don't forget that we do have videos on demand. You can watch them. They're broken down into small vignettes based on the section or the feature. So you can watch these videos on demand at any time. Another section that you definitely want to take a look at is our Help Center. Every single time we build a new feature in the QQCatalyst, we update our Help Center with information on both how to use the feature and answer frequently asked questions. A lot of the questions that I get via email or phone calls that product support receives is how-to questions, and all of that information is available to you here in the Help section. So in the case that you wanted to find out how to set up commissions, I'm just going to type in commissions here. And every single article on commissions is here for you. How do I reset commissions? How do I reconcile commissions? How do I set up commissions rules? What is Commission Central? All of that information is here and ready for you whenever it is that you want the information. That way you don't have to pick up the phone and contact product support or wait to hear back from someone in training. You can access that information at any time. That's what we have for you for QQCatalyst version 3.8. I thank you all very much for joining us for today's webinar. For those of you who have questions, please go ahead and type them into the question window of the GoToWebinar panel. I'll be happy to answer all of your questions. We are entering the Q&A portion of today's training class. So if you have any questions, go ahead and type those into the question window of the GoToWebinar panel. If you don't have any questions, we thank you very much for being a QQCatalyst subscriber. Again, continue to share your feedback with us. We appreciate that feedback. It's driving everything that we do in QQCatalyst, and it's only getting better and better, and it's going to continue to get better so long as we continue to hear from you. Again, thank you very much for attending today, and we'll go ahead and get our Q&A session started.